All right, I'll capitulate. It's officially football season. I'm not like you sickos doing this big board pre-draft stuff. Like, I can get into it, but not to this level. As soon as that draft completed on Saturday night, BBM4 dropped. Now it's go time. Now it's wheels up. Now it's no matter what, when these guys are like, hey, man, you want to just like hop in that one daily? I'm going to be the guy pushing the pace for some BBM. That's what we're about now. Love that we're here, but we're not going to lose sight of the fact that there is some really good baseball being played and some really good basketball being played, and to no one's surprise whatsoever, some better puck being played right now because, man, playoffs everywhere, been electric. But Nez, the floor is yours. Tell me.
I will say, watched some really good puck last night. Heartbreaker for the Bruins and a heartbreaker for the Avs too. Heartbreaker for the Avs too. But, this is probably a surprise to nobody, but, it's May 1st and Pirates are the only team in the NL with 20 wins.
Chirp. Crickets. Crickets everywhere.
I don't know, guys. Probably nothing.
Haters are silent. But haters are silent.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting, man. I mean, that it's just good for baseball, and doing it all without O'Neal Cruz right now is pretty sick. But
yeah, big time. It will do a lot to get him back and to get G-Man Choi back, two big lefty sticks that they're missing right now. They're lefty killers. So get them some lefty sticks back.
Those are two weird names juxtaposed to each other with O'Neal Cruz, and then all of a sudden you just throw in G-Man Choi.
Put some respect on G-Man Choi, man.
No disrespect. I just don't believe he's an X factor to the level that O'Neal Cruz is. But
he helps.
He
definitely helps.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I will say I told you guys yesterday. Yesterday was the whole weekend was just basically I drafted I think 15 teams early Saturday morning to get them in, and then it was just a cleanse from Underdog. Take a little break. We've been, everyone, they did that.
Mental reset.
I went back to the roots. We girlfriend or the fiance got done with busy season, so she had a whole weekend off. So we got some board games.
Nice.
We celebrated accordingly Saturday night. Played board games yesterday. So I'm watching that hockey game. I'm watching the entire thing from puck drop to puck end, and it was incredible. What I will say, I don't know if anyone saw, but the first thing that I noticed when they dropped the puck down in the it would have been the Panthers zone, I guess. I don't know what the Panthers end where they're trying to score. There's like a minute 40 left. They drop it. All of a sudden on the top left, you just see goal Panthers. The whole thing goes away. Like they take the whole the graphics away. They skate around for a little bit. They miss a shot. It goes. I'm like, dude, they just showed a goal for the Panthers. Like, are they ahead of us? Like, did they just screw that up?
Oh, that's bizarre.
20 seconds later, goal Panthers tied it up. And I'm like, I literally
weird.
threw my hat. I'm like, that is incredible right there. I'm
Dude,
like,
we're living in a simulation.
So I go back and show my buddy, and I'm like, yeah. And then he shows me a tweet afterwards. He just goes, "Is Vince McMahon trying to script the tweet?" Like, it was a joke, obviously, but the fact that happened, like you can, it's so funny that it glitched, but it's just the fact that it glitched goal, and then 20 seconds later,
it's
obviously a goal.
My broadcast is different than your guys's, so I didn't get the glitch.
Yeah, I saw the glitch, and I'm just like. So I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat, like, is there? And then it didn't happen. I'm like, no. And then they scored. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, no, it was incredible.
Couldn't be our producer. Our producer would never do something like that.
Never.
So.
No, he comes in rock and roll. He's up 2 hours before show, getting everything laid out ahead of time. Like it's incredible.
This is our producer.
Could never be that. But no, it was great. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited for puck tonight. I'll just say I'm excited for.
Yeah,
puck
man. There's a lot of good stuff to be excited about right now, both from Underdog standpoint and just from like pure like sport enjoyment standpoint. It's just beautiful time of the year. I feel like we've hit that so many times though. Like like it just feels like that. You guys want to start BBM today, or you guys want to start hoops?
I say we start BBM.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's top of mind. Everybody's chatting about it. Yeah. It's what we all want to do right now.
Yeah,
I have yet to draft. I was saving the first one for stream. I am not going to be doing my best Pete impression and trying to stream all 150 of these, but I do intend that we do stream a good number of them. I think that's going to be the game plan here. But let's start with a little ADP, an exercise which we did so many times during the dailies, and just before we jump in a draft, any names popping out to the lads right now that seem mispriced, that seem that's where we want to take advantage of, because we haven't done BBM as a unit before, right? When we started this show, it was end of baseball season last year. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was end of baseball season last year, and it was almost all daily focus. So a lot of the evergreen BBM conversations, we had some really good ones last week with Crane and Hayden. Those were great to set the stage and whatnot. But a lot of those evergreen conversations we have yet to have together about this contest specifically. So it's going to be fun to talk through, especially using like our daily brains and our daily lens to then just build out an entire season. I went on a bit of a tweet storm yesterday, as I'm prone to do when I'm just sitting by myself on the couch watching sports, and just kind of gal braining, how we can use some of those ideas to move over. And then Mark Garcia, who's been on the show a whole bunch, we did some kind of like evergreen stuff under the 1 week season umbrella the last year that will kind of reset for this year too. And I think we just talk about it all organically, like on the fly. And I think the best place to start is this window right now. The next, I think it's 11 days before the NFL schedule drops, is kind of like that IKB window. This is like, if you want to get exploitative on a stance, on a player, on a situation, you want to get ahead of market, now is the time, because ADP gets increasingly more efficient over time, right? And as we get to those later parts when, more consensus, more shared knowledge, more common knowledge occurs, like we got to take advantage of our individual takes kind of like now. Is that kind of just our agreed upon kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, it
definitely seems to be the edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, and then, just scooping up potential values that you can in this range, but it's difficult because those values that might be there are the ones that should be dropping in 10 to 20 spots, because that's where they should end flushing out basically. But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well put. Right now, it's really all we got. I think you can kind of preemptively look at some players and think, as the off season rolls on, what kind of momentum they will see, or what kind of movement they will see. I know Pete kind of talked about Breece Hall today on his best ball breakfast, and that's somebody that I think could see a little bit of a downward trend. I don't think the field will ever let him go too far, but just as an example, one player that I think like you can kind of like maybe wait past ADP to see like where he settles. But yeah, definitely the edge right now. And I'm taking it slow and steady right now. Definitely not aping in. There's some people that are really going in hard right now, and God bless them. More power to you.
This was the one that I saw earlier there, where it's like, well, we've talked about this with the daily stuff, is like, I think the sample size of BBM is so elongated that we kind of lose sight of the fact that it is just one slate. It's one slate, right? So it's very interesting. And we've talked on Underdog that it's kind of like an organic evergreen statement that the best time to beat a contest is always early. I don't know. I got no data to back that up with BBM4. We've only ever had 3 of them before. The winner has come in June/July the majority of times.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe it is optimal to be aping this early. It's very cool to see just to see like people's mindsets associated with that. In that same vein, maybe before. Sorry, yeah, you're muted.
I know. Sorry, I apologize. I think my macro take on that is like early on. I think the edge is like in the regular season contest, where you can really get some values that like nobody was able to get. And in the regular season where there's less variance, that is probably where you can really take the most advantage, is that regular season prize pool. As we get later in the season, when we have more information, and we have more live players. This is exactly like what Leone wrote in his Best Ball Manifesto, but I just thought it was like so poignant, is like we are more likely to draft more live players as we get closer to the start of the regular season, which is very, very obvious, right? We see training camps shake out and we have a better idea of the rosters. Then that kind of sets you up better for the playoffs, knowing who is actually going to be on a team. And once the regular season is done, man, throw everything out the window. Literally just throw everything out the window.
Love it. Yeah. I want to hit on this real quick. GMs to everyone. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here, but specifically to Chad. Chad has volunteered. I put a message in the Discord, which I believe the majority of people hanging out would see, but we are going to do what we did with the daily contest last year, thanks to Chad, where he compiles the draft boards. So save your BBM draft boards. You don't have to be as crazy about it, I guess. With like the daily contest, you had to do it like right away or they disappear. Yeah. These ones you can go back in time and you can find them and save them that way and just put them in that chat. And we're going to build out some spreadsheets, share some information, share some data. It'll be representative of like 0.5% of the entirety of the player pool, but at least it's something to track and something to go off of and something to share. Yeah, I mean, I feel very comfortable sharing all mine. I know some people might want to keep their cards close to the vest there, but yeah.
Yeah, shout out Chad. That is so cool. I can't thank him enough for the work that he did during the regular season when this was much more scarce, getting these draft boards. So doing this as a group is going to be like really nice and like our own like little edge as a community. Get to kind of compile some data together and work through it together. It'll be fun.
Love it. Yeah. And here, I want to bring this one up because I just saw this before we went on. Madison Park Hill does some work for RotoViz, is gone all full sicko mode before we even get the NFL schedule, anticipating what potential matchups we can see for the regular season schedule. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, we know for a fact. We know the opponents already, which is like really cool. We just don't know when they're going to play.
Right. But for our mindset, we can do like the week 17 will always be a divisional opponent. So building a little bit of divisional correlation right now. I mean, not the craziest thing I ever heard.
Is that true?
Yeah. Week 17?
Always a divisional?
I think it's like, yeah, I think it's like,
I think it's a better chance. No? I don't know that's 100%.
Better chance? Okay. It's not 100%. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I just found this very, very cool little exercise.
It's the best thing we got right now, no doubt.
Exactly. Yeah, This is the best little cheat sheet we got going. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in the chat for everyone there. You guys want to throw out the bat signal there and see if we can get a BBM going here? Talk about those ADP guys on the flow on the fly.
I'll let you know when it's posted. That way, even though everybody's gonna be jumping in already, so you're probably getting an earlier overflow. Wait for the bat signal if you haven't already done it.
Tell me
1, 2, 3. Hopefully that worked. That was really sloppy first attempt.
Oh, jeez, we snap filled it.
I
think we beat the crowd.
I think I scared them with the early overflow, and then we got back in.
Wait, is that Pat? Oh, is that we right next to Pat?
Yeah, we are.
That has to be great to be drafting next to the defending champ.
Yeah, they can't even give him a red badge.
Yeah, you didn't even get a badge for $2 million. Tough scene.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you really got to earn your red badge. Show me your
you gotta show us your volume, Pat. Yeah, show us the volume you're putting in there, Pat. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, schmoo million. But
shout out Jeff. He's in here as well, and obviously our boy Clay.
Hopping on the Peloton, love it. Cardio Club starting earlier. Yeah, man, I'm all about it. We crowned the movement. # always sweat. Nez was not here with us on Friday. Neumy and I with Hayden there. We crowned the new movement. Is # always sweat. So we're always sweating while we're drafting, and we're always sweating our teams mid-season. This is the new. It's the way of the future, boys.
It's why John was at home alone watching sports. He told her, "Sorry, I started a movement, and I have to now diligently watch every single one of these sporting events that I have a little bit of equity in there. So I apologize. I got to do it." So he's just sitting there, just literally just screaming, pacing.
Life EV down the window, but it's so worth it.
Hey, he's got like 10 years of that Life EV, just like he's a bear. He hibernated it up, he stored it up. Now it's just time to sweat for the next 10 years.
That's right. He has some EV to trade in.
An exercise that we talked about behind closed doors that may be coming as soon as Wednesday that I really want to do is a kind of like a bracket and a tiers exercise of some of the best screen names on the site and some of the best players on the site in each discipline. I think that's kind of a little niche that we probably have more insight than most of the community because we are sick and we play these games way more than
we do,
man.
Else. We do. Okay, there we go. Shout out.
All right, Bijan at the 107. Our first BBM 3 pick or 4 pick of the year.
You have to make this, man. You have to make this.
Yeah, this is.
I gotta make it.
It's yours.
It's yours.
Pick.
All right. I like Stephon Diggs. I was gonna tell you who my favorite ADP right now that I think is wrong. And that was going to be like my early one is Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams should be like in this 8 through 10 range. Like I think
what gives you the bigger, like, I mean, that's where he was going last year with Carr. Is there like a big vote of confidence there? Or you just think like nothing is like Carr to Jimmy's the same? What's your reason?
Yeah, I think Carr to Jimmy's the same. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's fine. We've seen he's a model of consistency regardless of who the quarterback is. I don't know. Like it was the first one that I just looked at and I was like, I'm going to have more Devontae Adams than that. And I think it's going to be the first one that we see raise like 3-4 spots.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I mean, like there really is not a whole lot of differences between Jimmy and Carr. And like, depending on the type of person you ask, I think you're going to get more people saying, give me Jimmy over Carr. People just have a disdain for Carr.
Yeah.
Man. They just do. And there just wasn't a lot of chemistry there. It was, I don't know. It was weird. I trust Jimmy to put the ball in Devontae's hands for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my answer after. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there goes.
Like what? It's got to be Saquon, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm jumping in. I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a tier break, and I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation. The remainder of kind of like draft season and stuff like that is there might be a little FUD around him, just contract stuff and whatnot. But I do think like Saquon from like a pure like role usage and talent standpoint, like I thought that the 1v1 was going to be him versus Bijan. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was going to be like the debate. And now we see like, with landing spot and whatnot, that Bijan's, Pat took him at 7 right there, like RB2 off the board. Just pitting those two against each other. Like, who would you guys rather have right now? Saquon or Austin Eckler?
Saquon over Eckler for me.
Yeah, I feel similarly, right?
Yeah, that's my right now. And we're kind of like,
but it's close.
Vaguely,
it's like it's kind of splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of talked about like our favorite ADPs right now. Saquon for me, I know it's like it's very high, and there's not a lot of room to run, but that's my favorite ADP value right now. If you're getting Saquon at like 17, like that is fantastic. There's not many running backs with the usage and the talent like Saquon Barkley in the league, and like no fear of any competition in the backfield. We can trust the coaching. Like we saw a really good year out of Dayball there in New York. The contract is definitely like the biggest thing right now for that. And if that contract gets resolved, even before like the FUD really sets in, like I don't even know like if people are thinking about the contract right now. I think they're just kind of thinking about players in a vacuum. We could see Saquon right behind Bijan, and I think Bijan is going in a correct spot at 7. Unfortunately I lost the tweet. I need to find it and give credit, but like running backs that go in the top 10, like Bijan did in their rookie seasons, average like 1,100 yards and like 7 touchdowns. Like It's like almost slam dunk usage. What's that?
Yeah, okay. I said seems good.
yeah, not bad.
That seems
bad
like
numbers.
it's in play. Yeah.
And we're talking about a team that was efficient with bad running backs, like they had good numbers. Well, maybe I should take that back. I know they had good raw numbers, I believe. Maybe the efficiency that might not have been hand in hand, but I mean, yeah, I like it. And I love how mad people got. We haven't really talked about the NFL draft yet. I love how mad people got over the Bijan pick and the Gibbs pick. Like, regardless of whether or not those picks were bad, and it's not hard to argue that they weren't good picks. Like, I just love how mad it makes people. It's the best.
I don't think. I mean, yeah, it makes people mad. For me, it just proves just silliness. Like in the NFL, yet again, like you rush 1,000+ yards with a 5th round running back that was like a former linebacker in Tyler Algier, and then you do it with Jamal Williams, and you're like, what do we do? Let's draft a running back in the 1st round. Like, I get it's fantastic, but
what do you think?
I'm team Mark Andrews here.
Oh yeah. And we don't even have to stack them. Let's just take them.
Yeah. Like I think my dream scenario and mindset is like Andrews and Lamar comes back, but like I'm just team, 3rd round alpha tight end of a guy I think's going to push up. Like his ADP right now is basically where we were seeing it. It's a little higher before all the Lamar news, and now we got all this good news and Lamar coming back and the situation looks good, and now we're still getting late 3rd round Mark Andrews. I don't think that stays. I think the tight end, the elite tight end and premium tight end narrative pushes. And you just don't say nice things. Yeah, you just don't say nice things on stream.
You should have, next time, man, we're just going to put Andrews in the queue. We're going to like fake debate. Like, oh, who do we take? Who do we take? I don't know. Dang it. I didn't even want Mark Andrews. Like, I just auto drafted him. Dang it. Yeah. And then Lamar makes it all the way back. Yeah. It would have been
smoke and mirror streams now.
That's what Pete's going to have to do, man.
Dude, speaking of auto draft. So like I told you guys when I hopped in, I thought I did my first BBM last night. Turns out I was just annihilated drunk on Saturday night and did a draft. And I did draft it because I look at it and I see that I attempted to do something. But man, I don't know if I missed it or not, but Kenneth Walker in the 2nd round, that was not something I wanted to do at all, especially after Zach Charbonnet coming in.
Neumy after night strikes.
Oh man, it was bad. It was like a 22, pick 22 or something, 23. And I went back and looked at it last night. I went, some of these picks are nice, and then some of these are just awful. So yeah, it was really, really tough. So yeah, my first BBM draft, I just literally gave everyone the EV. I'm over there just showing my buddy, look at this team, and I'm literally gonna name that first draft drunk, and I hope that's my highest scoring team.
What in the hell is this guy doing? 3 QBs.
Welcome to the early BBM streets, my friend.
Oh Jesus.
It's interesting to see Gibbs's ADP at 15 amongst running backs already. I think it's wide receiver.
It is. This is a good spot for Gibbs. He keeps climbing, but I think this is wide receiver. You could do more. We could just do the wild card to Hopkins in hopes he gets traded. More without
more.
Okay. I am more without without Fields is it feels kind of weird to me.
What do you mean without Fields?
Without Justin Fields as quarterback, the stacking partner?
She's saying grabbing more.
I get. Taking him on.
I get you the BBM brain.
I was like, holy shit! I was like, dude, what happened to Justin Fields? Like, what did I miss? Like, I felt
he's
so
gone.
broken there.
He's gone.
Oh my god. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Where he's like, he's not what we anticipate that like elite profile to be, like that kind of like break the mold on his own kind of guy. Whereas like Hopkins is like quarterback proof and breaks the mold wherever he goes. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I guess I was just like, rolling the dice because I think Hopkins does get traded and you could potentially get him, get like some value on him before the trade actually hits, which I do feel is going to happen.
So
hi, Pat.
can we just do a quick little exercise of starting with the wide receiver or like who we just took there, and then basically we could go down to, I think, Judy. How would you rank them in terms of that? Because I would have gone with what Pat had, and it was basically London or Christian Watson were the top wide receivers in my mind there for me.
Okay.
So and then I think Moore and Hopkins are kind of like a little tier. Like Judy's interesting. I know it's just that whole situation.
He just signed his 5th-year option, and they were shopping Courtland Sutton.
And they added what was it?
Mims.
Marvin Mims. Yeah. So they added Mims. I was about to say Mingo. Mingo went to Carolina. So, but I mean, so they added that. We don't know what the coaching staff, what Sean Payton thinks of him. We don't know what Sean Payton thinks of Russell Wilson. It's clearly not good things. So, but if I just in that little tier, that's why I feel like it's so. It's really I
have been reaching on London like where Pat did and in my own drafts I've been
fun.
Yeah. So. But I will say like all those things you said about DeAndre Hopkins, John, like are true to DJ Moore. I mean, yeah, his seasons haven't been wide receiver 1 seasons, but talk about QB proof. I mean, he's gotten it done without a single like notable QB to his name. So
he feels like early career Mike Evans, where he just like shows up, he puts up 1K every year, and like nobody really talks about him, and then he just becomes like he's like the 3rd round value for like 4 straight years, right?
Yeah, similar results, no doubt.
Just score some more touchdowns, and
I'm really excited to see how they use him. Like I think Justin Fields gets a lot of flack as a passer, and deservedly so. But give him DJ Moore. I'm really excited to see what happens there. I really am.
Kind of fun to put Kittle and Andrews together and just turn off the blue button.
I would say Pittman or JSN.
All right. 1 vote Pittman for me then.
Pittman's fun. I think Pittman makes sense.
Pittman allows us to do something else too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if we can make it happen.
In this draft, so that's kind of hard.
Kittle might fall. You never know. This guy, whoever the hell this guy is, JML1. He's solely exists to ruin our team.
Always for me. It is always fun to when I could get these 2 tight ends and just stop and not have to worry about it. I feel like they're just for me personally, the hardest teams to end up building and feeling good about. Maybe that's for everyone, but it's just you're falling behind at wideout so much.
Most of the data will tell you it's bad because you don't want to ever play tight end flex, right? Like most of the data is going to tell you it's really bad to do that.
I love it from a playoff standpoint, though. Giving yourself 2 really sick options if you make it to the finals, like that. Thinking about those rare combinations where if you do it right, like, you really hamstring yourself in the regular season. But, these unique builds that are still possible to get through, that's going to be a big topic of conversation is like how weird is too weird.
This is nuts that we are literally entering what would be the last round of a cycle or 12-man draft and a BR. And it's like, no.
A goal line stand?
Yeah. Goal line stand. No, here's 12 more. Go ahead. Oh, man.
Yeah, it does feel weird to get back to drafting like these, right?
Your point to the baseball versus NFL later rounds, man, it was so prevalent last night when I got to rounds 15, 16. It's like, I'm literally drafting for contingency and be like, maybe I'm telling myself, jumping over fences, like if this guy does this and things happen and it breaks this way, I'm trying to do that. Whereas in MLB, we're just like, this guy is a starter. He is a starter in the Braves lineup, and he's going in the 18th round. Like,
how many viewers can we isolate if I say, let's find the James Outman in this draft? Who's gonna?
Mixon. Man, Mixon's very interesting because Cincinnati didn't really do much at running back, which makes you kind of think.
All right,
I don't know. It seems weird. I like Mike Evans. I wanted Chris Godwin. I like Mike Evans.
Okay. I want this to be your team.
Yeah, your team.
My first one. Okay.
So you're assuming Baker is quarterback, right?
Yeah. I think Baker's serviceable enough to give us what like the Jameis Winston era gave us, like maybe not as much YOLO ball from like the 30 touchdowns, 30 interception season that Jameis provided for him. But like, honestly, that team getting like worse isn't a bad thing for Mike Evans and for
the
fantasy,
offensive game plan,
right? Yeah. I mean, like, me and my Brady doubles and the thesis of like, they're going to throw it 60 times anyway.
We're just starting early on the Mayfield
We're
doubles.
starting early on the Brady doubles, baby.
The Baker doubles.
Boy.
Baker doubles.
Yeah, I think if the argument is like Evans' down season wasn't because of his own talent, then like, you're getting like a really, really strong value on Mike Evans. So that's not like, it's not a terrible pick. I think if I was going wideout, I probably would go Ayuk over him. And if I was going running back, I probably would have went Swift or Pacheco.
Swift is really interesting for me. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's interesting for everyone that's goes to the Eagles, but contract year, like I feel like they just, what was he worth? A 4th round pick, basically, or 5th, or what did it end up being? Because they traded 7.
I can't remember what that.
It was a future 4th, and they swapped.
Safe to say they didn't value Swift too much, anyway.
That's more than when we were talking to Hayden on Friday. Neumy, that's more than we anticipated they could get for him after kind of showing their cards, right?
Yeah, I was more bringing up another thing.
Yeah, but
how NFL coaching staff.
But the 4th round picks in trades are like gold for some reason. Like, I don't know. Like,
there's something there that I'm just missing. It has to do with it. But
there could have been some other competitive offers, and it'll be interesting to see if the Eagles use him similarly. If it's another frustrating usage case. But regardless, the ceiling there is just like so high. I think. Even with last year, right? Like, people are worried about, Jalen Hurts and the, in the vulturing of touchdowns. Miles Sanders got there even with Jalen Hurts having like an MVP caliber season until he got hurt.
Right.
And Swift and Penny back there is going to be a lot of fun. Like, Penny is opt injured, just as much as Swift is. So I don't think it's a bad idea to handcuff Swift or any Eagles running back. And it doesn't have to be with the idea of handcuffing. It's just the idea of like, I just want exposure to this backfield. I don't think that's like a bad thing.
They still have Scott and Gainwell, don't they?
They have Gainwell.
They re-signed Boston Scott this year, didn't they?
I think you're right, but
Addison.
Am I crazy?
Tough spot.
Sell me. Yeah. Twist my arm.
I like Addison.
Yeah, Addison, or I guess if you're setting up a Bucks, you could go with the pass catching back right there too.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
That is a good thought.
And
oh my God. I'm so bad, boys. First BBM I butchered.
Oh, he's rusty. He's knocking off the rust.
Oh, man. Knocking off the rust in the first draft. That was pathetic.
And that was,
no. First draft is redacted.
I watched you do it. No. Not even queue up White, and then I was like,
yeah, no, not like that. Not like that. Not like that.
Oh, I'm so bad.
First draft. Rust.
In the West.
Dude, I deserve every bit of this. I deserve every bit of this for that move.
Now we got to do something different. We're this is gonna be interesting.
I wants it. Oh no, I'm sorry, DC.
Is Elijah Moore still on the board? Like, just like
January figures. That's good. Oh man.
Well, actually, having to draft
that was, to be honest, that was Crane's fault, because I'm trying to sign in to Legendary Upside here, and I had to go open the email to get the email to then sign in. Because I was gonna ask if Pat was still hanging out. I was gonna ask. He did the rookie ranks already for best ball, but I was gonna ask ranks in general. That's what I was gonna look there, because I was gonna say peek behind the paywall curtain of ETR. They do not like my DJ Moore pick. They have DJ Moore as wide receiver 30, well behind the likes of some readily available talent there that we forego. forgot. I don't know. We forgoed. I don't know. What's the stage?
So like I just think that has to do with what the Bears are, and I don't think their philosophy's changed. You add DJ Moore, and that for sure helps Justin Fields. It gives him the best weapon that he's had. I just don't know if that changes the philosophy of how they're going to run their offense, and if that just equates to a monster fantasy season and compared to the other. That's what I've just been hearing from smarter people. So
yeah, okay.
Oh, that's true. That also very good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he hasn't crossed that threshold. Doesn't even know.
Now I don't want to look like an idiot on stream again, but this was going to be we take Richardson here. That was the thesis of the whole thing. Do we take Richardson here? Or do we take
not after having
shot?
Not after having Watson.
Do we take the shot on Williams? Do we take the shot?
James Cook or Javonte, in my opinion.
Okay, let's take the ceiling. Let's take the ceiling shot on.
Do we
Javonte.
have? Is there a better timetable now for Javonte? Did I miss something?
No.
Because didn't he do multiple things to the ACL and MCL? Like this was not a normal ACL. This was bad.
Right. That's why he's going down here.
It was the J.K. Dobbins. It was we did every ligament possible. It was bad. Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't because people are comparing timelines, right? Like you compare the timeline of when Chris Godwin came back, that 9-month turnaround, where it's like it's one clean ACL, or like you're suggesting Neumy and are correct on, is he did like 3 ligaments in his knee, in his knee.
I just don't know if it's far enough down there, like until we get better news. I think he has more room to fall. That's just my thought.
That's fair. Yeah.
Whether it's a bad fit in this right now, that's just my thought with Javonte. I think he settles around that 100 until we get news on officially how is it, because like
what if he doesn't open, like we say he's not going to be ready for week 1, but he doesn't open on the IR? Where do you think he ends up? Like I think it could be like in the 50s.
See, that changes things. Yeah, like I think he has room to go up and down depending on what update we get. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the last update anyone's really given on his recovery, his timetable.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if I took a macro thesis and applied it to like drafting BBM right now, I would say that we're searching for closing line value. And whose closing line value could smash harder than someone like Javonte Williams, a guy who was a 2nd-round pick last year. Now we're getting 70 picks worth of discount. What in the situation has changed for him if he's healthy?
That's true. And they've only signed Samaje Perine.
Yeah, and that's it.
Tony Jones just signed with the Bills. So
yeah.
That's just a 1-for-1 replacement, basically.
Who's the 4th back there? Are you looking at it? It's Tony Jones Jr.
Oh, I wasn't. No. I was just I was trying to do that here. I can look at it in a second. Yeah.
I think it was a rookie from last year, Crockett. Actually, he's not even a rookie from last year.
Yeah, you're right.
He was with the Texans before.
It's Javonte, Samaje, Tony Jones, and Demarie Crockett.
Yeah,
Demarier.
I mean, they're gonna bring some other other guys in there. Yeah.
But that's still, I mean.
Oh, here you go, Tyler Beatty. That from the Ravens last year.
I think it's got to be a Cleveland
Brown. Okay. And does that just mean Njoku?
Njoku or Elijah Moore? I mean, we have the tight end. You can do Njoku and get kind of like get different and get 2 elite tight ends, but I think
let's do Elijah Moore. Yeah,
I would prefer Elijah Moore. To make that Watson pick less of a mistake.
I mean, I like Njoku too. I think both of them are fine there. Obviously, it adds to the. Yeah, I don't know what I would want there. Just thinking about that, like Njoku's just a freak, and I really like David Njoku.
Yeah, so do I, for sure. He might fall. He might fall. I wouldn't be opposed to double tapping it. I like that they went out and got Elijah Moore. I think, they kind of saw what everybody else saw and that he's a pretty good wide receiver. Him being added and them drafting Cedric Tillman, I don't know that Tillman's going to make a ton of noise right off the bat, but in our show with Pat, I mentioned how I liked Tillman. I like, the things that Pat wrote about him. The size that he had, the results that he had before Hyatt broke out. I liked all of those things. But I think we see it more and more. It's really hard for these rookies to like become stars just right off the bat like this. So, I think DPJ is probably the odd man out in that wide receiver room is my point.
Really?
Oh, kind of seems like it.
Huh. I like.
Should we make
that's interesting? Okay.
Should we make the Addison or not Addison, the Madison bet
or Richardson?
No, Richardson's gone. Anthony
Richardson's gone. Yeah,
yeah, he went at 100. He went at 100
for sure.
Yeah, I think Madison's just kind of like nothing's changed. Like Dalvin's still on the roster, but I don't expect him to be there.
That's the thing I was gonna get at, and just I'll say really quick is we were Vikings fans, reporters, people that cover the team were surprised that he wasn't moved during the draft, especially when Swift was moved. Like it's the same outcome as where we are going to have to cut him, and we're going to cut him, or we're going to trade him and gain any type of value. And it seems like we basically lost that because all teams that were rumored to be interested in Cook drafted as a running back, basically in the later rounds. So they went the route of, hey, we're not going to take on his cap hit when we can get a guy that's maybe unproven, but just younger and better. With Dalvin also coming off the shoulder surgery, tread on the tires. So I think all signs point to Dalvin's not going to be on the roster. You can listen to what he's saying and what the team is saying, which is saying otherwise, as if they would both like to come to an agreement and figure something out because Dalvin wants to retire a Viking. He has said that now. I feel like every time I hear him and every quote, it's Dalvin wants to retire a Viking. So it's like, okay, cool. You're going to have to take a hefty pay cut, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the writing's on the wall for him to be gone. And then the other running backs in that room are
or just they could also restructure, right?
That's the thing. Yeah, restructure his deal, and then he just takes a pay cut, and maybe he does that. Like, I don't know what. Like, obviously,
they did draft a running back too in the 7th.
Yeah,
Dwayne
McBride at UAB. Yeah. So, take that for what it's worth. But, yeah, and then we have, Madison, Chandler, Dwayne McBride, who they just added. I forget if there's anyone else. I don't believe so.
They have that special teams running back.
Oh, yeah, Kene Ngwang. Kene, yeah. I don't know if he'll ever be – he'll more be like
it's like emergency.
Yeah. I don't know if he has the size to hold up to be.
And they've never given Madison like a full like season-long workload, so I don't think they like plan on making him the feature back.
Yeah.
Just because that's just not what they've ever done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could see Cook staying.
They like Chandler. Yeah, they do like Ty Chandler for what it's worth. He's nothing. I don't know what type of prospect he is. Besides the fact he came out of UNC, people liked him. He was shifty. He was our best back in preseason. But yeah, the Cook thing's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
To see. Do you think Madison's already priced that Cook's gone? Basically, because if Cook comes back, Madison just free falls. Correct? Like he's no way he's at 107.
If they restructure. He falls.
I
don't know that he free falls, but he definitely falls.
Last year, his closing ADP was like 116 as a pure handcuff.
Interesting.
Because people like the spot.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in taking him 113 with uncapped?
I thought it was like 130s. Okay.
I think I can look it up after.
15 spots isn't a free fall, so I'm wrong, but.
No, I think it was right in this range. Like I think like that was kind of my thought process was like, we're kind of just getting like the Madison of last year and the Tony Pollard bet of like the handcuff of last year, but we're getting this like discounted price like this. I don't know. Very interesting.
I think if he restructures, like he's going to take a slight hit. Right now, everybody was kind of assuming like all the buzz was like Cook's out of there. That's really been the latest. And post-draft, seems unlikely that he is.
P. Ryan's kind of a fun pick there. I kind of think we take a swing at running back upside here. We could take the Khalil Herbert, like just discount.
I would take Herbert over Roshan
if
in a vacuum.
Okay. You guys want to just bite the bullet on the fall here and think
I like Khalil. Yeah, I like Khalil Herbert still.
Yeah.
Even
he looked really good last year when given the touches. And I know that there's competition there, but there's competition with every running back left on the board.
Everyone knows we love our Elijah Mitchell too. Like our thesis all last year. With
Mitchell's gonna
Elijah
be good
Mitchell.
this year.
Dude, he's gonna get like 10 touches a game. The coaching staff loves him. Like they want to keep CMC shit down at times.
Yeah, he's gonna get usage. Like
I already know I'm gonna have too much. This Miller like bet is very interesting. I think outside of like Gibbs, it was the best landing spot of basically any running back, right? Like he goes into that scenario where Kamara is. I mean, I don't want to say he's suspended, but like I think at a minimum he's going to be suspended like 5 or 6 games, and then at a maximum he's a cut candidate. So then all of a sudden you have a Jamal Williams backfield, and then you have Miller, right? Like that's the team.
Yeah,
it's good. We probably should have been looking at some quarterback stuff here. I mean, I'm going to be making that Trey Lance bet again because I'm broken and sick in the head. Anyone else jumping out to you guys name wise?
Yeah.
We could do the DPJ double stack.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, it
that's
kind of
fine.
feels.
I really wish we would have grabbed Watson now because we could have paired him up with Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love.
Yeah, Pete was saying the same thing, that he likes Jordan Love too. He's like,
I don't think Jordan Love is bad.
No, I don't think he's bad either. And Pat's in here, but just listening to Pat talk about like you can take a quarterback that has the job and that's in the same range, or are we going to draft a quarterback that's basically fighting for a chance to be that guy, and we don't know how many games he's going to get. So just listening to that, and I don't think Jordan Love is bad at all. They added who did they just add from Michigan State? Reed? Was it Jaden Reed?
Yes.
There goes my internet.
Oh no, you're back. Yeah, it was Jaden Reed.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, it just the. So I mean, I think that's a good group. They added Musgrave, right, or Musgrove, the tight end. So I mean, they added like
2 tight ends
to that offense. Yeah. Oh yeah, they did draft 2 tight ends. So they're like they did the Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews. We're gonna draft 2 and figure out which one's maybe gonna be it. You know what I mean? But I like the Packers. The defenses in the NFC North. Nothing to be scary about. So it's basically you have the Lions Ford Field, you have the Ford Field, the new Ford Field in US Bank that we were talking about with Hayden. Like, yeah. By the way, Nez, Ford Field is now US Bank with the way our defense is going to be in that offense. So
man, I told you I hit Vikings overs every single week.
Some of us are smarter and some of us are you. So, but yeah. And then CJ Stroud it's an interesting ADP right there with some options to stack up late.
Yeah, Hayden saying he was his favorite in the class, period, but not his favorite for fantasy.
Yeah, it makes sense too. Like I get why being on the Texans is just not going to be. But I mean, Anthony Richardson is just clear cut QB1 for a rookie. So
man, there's so much hope and promise right now because if you
gross in this area.
Well, no, I was going to say the opposite. I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy shit, this is so fun. Like there's still like names and upside cases and like stuff you can make here. Whereas when we were in the big board and we had like no landing spots and we're like, oh, this is just so gross. Randomize it and just click buttons. Who cares? Like this is like pretty fucking fun. Like
it's nice to know landing spots. It makes the drafting experience a lot more fun.
Can you imagine handcuffing the Chicago guys? Like, what's the difference in doing that and what Pat did with the Miami guys last year?
I don't think it's bad.
We could do. I think we go quarterback. I think we go Stroud or Stafford.
Okay, Stroud's fun.
Stroud, yeah.
There's some easy late back stacks, right?
Yeah, I personally, I would take Pickett over those guys in a vacuum. So he goes way later.
Okay.
Golly gee whiz. Tell me why you're on Pickett.
I mean, like, way later. It's like I don't really have to. It's one. I mean,
it is way later, but like I don't really have to like. It's not that homer of a take to say that. Like Stroud is on the Texans. He's a rookie.
I know.
Stafford is on the rebuilding Pickett. Rams. I'm saying this. I'm saying this objectively, man.
I kind of like the Stafford discount.
With with Cup and
like you could just do, even if you do it without Cup, I think it's obviously 1,000 times better with Cup, right? And I think
I'm
it's
just
gonna be
saying,
like
who's
so
like
common. But
the
if you just
Rams
do like a
offense? I don't
Van
know.
Jefferson and like Tyler Higbee like backstack with
I like.
like
I think I'll take Stafford as a bounce back in this range. So
yeah,
elbow issues. Not
that's
like
true.
the team is like rebuilding.
if the
Rebuilding
defense is
teams are good for
if the defense is bad and he still has
that's a
Cooper
good
Kupp,
thing.
then I like that. So
Yeah,
You still
I
have to
agree.
do good things on the offensive
well,
side
let's
of the
just
ball.
not act like Matthew Stafford's now dust because of this elbow injury.
I'm not
Like
saying he's dust. I'm just saying he doesn't make me excited.
Fair enough.
I don't
Yeah,
get I don't get giddy in my seat whenever.
It's just crazy to me.
A mid-30s pocket passer on a
it's
really bad
Pickett-
team with
it's
only one
Pickett up
weapon.
here, and Stafford's just like, oh, I'm not too on Stafford, but Pickett, like with that, like what has changed with the Steelers? We still have Matt Canada.
What has changed? Everything's changed.
Yeah, they got.
Do they still have Matt Canada?
They do, but
Okay.
Pickett took
What was
steps
the
last
reason
year at
we
the end of the
hated?
season.
What was the reason we hated the Steelers' offense last year?
Because they were just not a good offense. I mean,
You want to do the Nico Collins stack?
I think you kind of have to? Question mark?
Yeah, I kind of like it anyways.
I do too. I think with what we are probably going to see this year, and it's not going to be easy to identify who is doing this, but players are going to take leaps. Players get better over time. I know, mind-blowing
Right.
concept, but we have a lot of young players in this player pool. There are going to be guys that take big leaps. And just like spreading your bullets on these like 2-year, 3-year guys that have promise physically, that have flashed some good efficiency numbers in the NFL in the past, I think is a pretty safe bet. Nico Collins is definitely somebody that can take that leap.
Yeah, I like that. I'm looking at a thing that I got caught up in last year that I'm kind of like hampering myself from doing so right now is like the veteran free agent who I think is still like decent enough at football to impact. And I did it a lot with like Will Fuller, Julio Jones, like guys like this, where it's like, hey man, they just need a home. And I'm looking at the board right now, looking for some of those names like Zeke, Leonard Fournette, yeah, like that tier now versus like, hey, we know their landing spot and they're the second or third running back on their team, or they're the third or fourth pass catcher on their team. Like weighing those two variables, I think I effed up in the past by not targeting enough of like the Nico Collins type versus targeting that like veteran free agent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
guess it depends.
I mean, I did the same last year. You think there's this veteran free agent basically that, oh, he's suppressed, he's undervalued. It just takes that one landing spot, that signing to happen, and he's just going to rock it up there. When in fact that it's more likely he's just dust. Like, and there's a reason he hasn't signed, and there's a reason that he's going to get a vet minimum deal type thing. So,
right, yeah.
I agree with you because that's kind of how I was going. Like Kareem Hunt seems to fit that mold. You like Kareem Hunt?
I love Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is going to the Bengals, and Kareem Hunt is going to be 80th.
Nothing like adding Joe Mixon, subtracting Joe Mixon, but adding Kareem Hunt. Wouldn't that just be the most Cincinnati Bengals thing ever?
Straight, baby.
Yeah,
he's not in trouble right now.
Statement. We want to make a statement because we don't like those type of guys. Kareem Hunt, come on down.
I do think Zeke has a lot of upward movement available to him. The field hates him. I don't like Zeke, but if he lands in a good offense where it's just like, hey, when we're inside the 5-man, like put your helmet on, like you're going in, like as a goal line back, there's a lot of teams that could use that. And I don't think it'll be the Cowboys since Deuce Vaughn and Zeke are not the same, but I thought a reunion could have taken place. I do like Tyquan Thornton.
Tyquan Thornton that's my favorite value.
And I think we got to stop pissing if we take him. Like, okay. 8 is a lot for the capital that we spent.
Okay. Okay, so we got ourselves let's think about this for a second here. We got ourselves a Cleveland double stack, which was always the plan.
From the get-go, from the jump.
Yeah. We have one running back with legs, and he might hold out. We got to start loading up on some dart throw running backs back here, and this is going to be 2-8 to 6 RB, right? Like this is like we're filling out running back and
2
one
6
tight
8
end.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that Taekwon pick there was a luxury pick.
Yeah, I think it's like a ceiling pick. Hey, like if we get maybe week 17, Taekwon's running wild. He's somebody that could take a leap. I mean, great athletic profile. I don't think. Yeah, the talent evaluation in New England is suspect at times, but Taekwon flashed quite a bit. But I think this is Harry? Like lest we forget.
Yeah, you're not a N'Keal Harry guy? Oh, they aren't either. So there's some names down there. There's definitely some names on this board.
Man, there's a lot of good football players still available.
I'm not ready to quit Izzy Abanaconda. I will just say that.
Just because of landing spot?
Progress of nothing.
Well, a lot of people suggesting that Breece Hall's knee might still be a bigger issue than we're giving credit because they took him, right? That selection implies.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Chase, Brown, Dart, Lenny, Dart, Michael Carter, same thesis.
You make the pick. You make your running back pick here. I'm not going to cloud your judgment.
I want Lenny.
Let's go.
Lenny can still play football. He's going to sign with somebody.
He will sign.
I think Pete and Pat were talking about the Chiefs last night, or someone was talking about the Chiefs. I'm like, oh, wow.
I would be so surprised if the Chiefs don't add anybody in this free agent class.
Well, isn't McKinnon still a free agent? Like rumored to maybe go back. Like that would be the only fit I would see McKinnon kind of fit toward, right?
Yeah, right. Kareem Hunt makes a lot of sense too. There, like going back, home.
Yeah. I don't know if the bridges are burnt, but
yeah.
I don't know. Because it's right
Dalvin
now.
Cook to the Chiefs for a 6th rounder.
Hey, that would be crazy. But they kind of need.
They don't want that contract.
I know.
I could see Zeke going there. I mean, Pacheco is like a bruiser of a runner, but I think they could use somebody that like totes the rock, because CEH is not that guy.
That's fair.
He was a healthy scratch for the Super Bowl. Like he's absolutely not that guy. Don't remind
my 4th round 65% there.
Oh man,
that all turned into fucking Noah Gray.
Oh man. Hey, I will say here, Chip helping us out. If you are in here for the 60 that are in here, smash that like. Hit the sub button, hit that notification bell. John may not know what it does, but it allows you to know when we go live straight to your phone, whatever device that you have. A little notification right there. Boom, BadgeBros are going live. You click it. You're in here with us. So do all that. Help us out. Would appreciate it kindly.
Yeah, please do so.
Oh, actually, yeah, I think they might have Deneric Prince. Yeah, I forgot they signed Deneric Prince. Thank you, Chip. That's the guy.
Okay.
That's the next man up.
Should I know about him?
No.
We're about to draft his ass.
So I should.
You should. You actually should.
I should.
You actually should.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pull up some highlights after. But Chris G, shout out Chris G. He put me on to Deneric Prince, and he put me on to Christian Watson last year too. And before the draft hype. So that's like all I see. I like the way he runs. That is my film grinders take. Is Deneric Prince runs good.
Deneric
Prince, what does he do? He runs well.
There's a name that I like right now that I think was like a pretty big draft winner who fits this team. But we only have one tight end as well.
Yeah, we're unfortunately going to have to use one of these picks on a tight end.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think single tight end, if it's unstacked especially, is like a great move. You got to give yourself some options.
We're definitely going to. It was just whether we take it this pick or not. We shoot the moon with the Laporta pick?
That or Hayden Hurst. I don't mind Hayden Hurst with a rookie QB. I know it's like it's an unproven like trope that hey, rookie QBs rely on their tight ends, but
I like Laporta over Hurst.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay.
That's the upside there. Like for me, it's like we already have Andrews. We don't need to be the Ravens and add both Hurst and Andrews to this team.
Can't that
we already know which
correlation in
one
hindsight.
we already know which one panned out and which one's good. So
What were we just talking about before Prince?
We
were talking about like smashing the like and stuff like that. Yeah, Pete's setting a subs goal at like 15K or something like this, right? By the end of football season drafting, he had like 250 people watching for Best Ball Breakfast. There is no reason we can't get to 1K subs so we can start putting some fucking cool emotes. We've been doing this every day for like half a year now, over half a year, like 8 months. We don't have 1K subs. Like just make a couple fake accounts and like hit that button a couple times for me. You know how many times I've gone on like Fiverr and just been like, I'm just going to buy some fucking subs. Like I just want the emotes. I want the Neumy tilt face emote. I want the Boomer John emote in the thing, right?
Just
like,
a lowly 1K. That's all.
Yeah. Fuck, he went. Oh no, now we're panicking.
Prince, baby.
Take Prince?
I'm dead ass. He's not, he did sign. He's not going to show there. He did sign. Maybe post show. Maybe we could do it. You got to watch some Prince highlights, man. He's
all right.
He looks good when he runs the football. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm buying into this Prince narrative. Let's go. Treat me. This is my Darwin Thompson reset. The Darwin Thompson narrative all over again.
Andy Reid's son was like watching highlights, and Andy would just go, "What's that? What is that guy doing?" He's like, "Oh, this is generic Prince." He just goes, "Yeah, we're gonna sign him. Yeah, we're gonna get this guy on the squad." Watched about 30 seconds, and I'm sold.
Here's his RAS score, by the way. I'll post it in the chat.
Say again.
I posted his RAS score, the relative athletic score, in the chat. It's a lot of green, a little bit of yellow, and a lot of green.
Did Pat
just looking at these?
I can't see the 210 pick. Who did he draft at 210? Was it 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2 Atwell. What if Stafford to 2-2 so is what you need? I love it. You can't draft
the winner on our stream, dude. Come on.
Yeah. At our expense, because we were debating heavily between 2-2 Atwell and whatever a generic Prince is.
Now he's got content. I went into these another channel stream, and next thing you know, I drafted the winner. Boom.
Yeah.
I cannot copy paste that link. Can you put it in the private chat for me? I'm curious now.
Yeah.
There it is. The first BBM, the very first BBM4. Let's check it out. We ended up with a Cleveland Browns stack. Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Deshaun Watson with the I'm scrambling for some like interdivision correlation. Mark Andrews, week 17, bring back. You kidding me?
Boom.
Browns versus Ravens.
Easy.
Mark Andrews is the guy you need. Browns on the bring back. I really wanted Jerome Ford with that last pick. That's who I was alluding to and didn't say his name before Prince, but he went on the corner there. I think he was a big winner after the draft for them, basically taking no one and letting Kareem Hunt walk or presumably letting him walk. Just your classic 2-6-8.
I love
first
it.
Draft of the campaign.
You also got week 17 correlation in there when the Colts and Texans play. Just letting you know, with a little CJ Stroud to call or Nico, and then we got Michael Pittman as the run back. So I mean, we're covering all bases already.
Fucking brilliant. We're
I unironically like this team.
It's not.
I don't mind. Yeah, for the first team, like I
anchor Saquon with this wide receiver room, like that's nice.
There's picks to definitely, like, you know, you could go back and be like, did we need this here? What was other on the board? But I mean, all in all, yeah, I think if I could go back in time, I think I capitulate to your guys's sake, and I switch up the DJ Moore pick. I think I was probably a little over my skis on that one. I do kind of think with like the CJ Stroud pick that I think I prefer 3 quarterback, but it is putting like a condom on it, especially when you spend the 70 or 80th pick on Deshaun Watson.
I mean, there's a lot to like with like Pittman and Mike Evans ADPs and Elijah Moore's ADP right now. I like those. The Nico stack makes sense. I think Mark Andrews is mispriced right now. I think that's a big takeaway from the first part of this. I have no idea what to make of the Chicago backfield right now, but Khalil Herbert looked really nice last year at times when he had that to himself. You remember the week that we played the dailies with Herbert, and Herbert popped for like 28 points and was like the guy you needed that week. That's all I think about.
Yeah.
The whole week was, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Hey guys, it was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'll go ahead. This is gonna be our first draft board to save. I'll save it on mobile and throw it in to share with everybody. Let's sauce the shit out of the former champs team.
Oh boy.
Bijan before Saquon, terrible pick. Waddle, yep, second best receiver on the team. Why would you take him in the second?
I didn't even know Tyreek.
Breece Hall doesn't have a knee. Drake London doesn't have a quarterback. Actually, you know what's pretty fun about Drake London is I could really see that like the Tanny narrative now. You know,
to Atlanta.
Yeah, because like he's got 1 year left. I think that could be really sweet for Atlanta if they got Tanny. Now that everybody wanted the Titans to take Will Levis in the first round, they end up getting him in the second round. And now all of a sudden you can still make the same deal to give like Tanny to somebody. That looks like a lot of fun. No, I'm just kidding. The champ's the champ for a reason. We're not going to sauce his team. But this Miller pick.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, because he took a good. Yeah. But
both the guys we were talking about, he said, "Hey, F both of you. I'm going to take both of the QBs that were the little debate and put them on the squad."
Yeah, just put them together.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah, he took what's Kendrick Miller's ADP again? He took him at 132.
And Pat said he was experimenting with the rankings right now, his own rankings right now in this draft. So he took him at 138, and his ADP is kind of like in that 150, 160, but like could be a huge riser if the moment we presumably get negative news around Kamara.
Yeah, he took him 20 spots ahead. His ADP is exactly 158.4. So.
Where did Rice go? Okay. GDE took Rice at 165. Just lots of interesting names out here.
I forgot about Rice.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, Rashid Shaheed. Admittedly, the ETR guys like him a lot more than the market does right now.
Okay.
Which, actually, not a lot more. It's basically the same. I just saw his name and got excited. They like Van Jefferson way more, though. 50 spots higher than ADP. That's what got me excited about the Stafford one. Okay. Anyways, yeah, this is fun. Good first one. We're going to be doing tons more. Yeah, man, we're so back. Oh, what's Corinne suggesting here? We're doing a weekly show with
regarding
Davis.
Tutu.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I like that. Fun first draft.
Yeah.
Very fun first draft. Can't wait to do more of these. Let's rip some hoops and call her a day. I think today's NBA slate is a lot of fun. NBA playoffs have been a lot of fun in general. I mean,
yeah, they've been electric.
I've had a lot of, when hoops, now hoops. I've had a lot of fun. Oh, here, you sent me that link. Let's look at the
darling of that team.
Yeah, before we fully transition to hoops, we got to look at the darling. We're going to start hyping them. Prince, baby.
9.58 out of a possible 10.
You kidding me? This gives me Jarek McKinnon vibes right here. Jarek McKinnon getting comped to like LT. Except this dude's Spark score. No, yeah, I just mean like the athletic popping off the charts notion. He's 216.
That's how much this dude weighs, yeah.
Yeah, that was his who said the magic number? It was either the Crane episode or the Hayden episode.
216. Damn. I didn't know that. Who's taller?
The magic number? What's the magic number for running backs?
I thought it was over 200, and then it was like 250. Like it was 215 was our number, but then it was also like once you got under, there was no one under like 200 that basically had one of those performances, 40-point or whatever, 20-point games or whatever. So yeah, but I think it was 215 was around that. That was like the magic number.
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great about it. He looks good when he runs the ball. Enough said.
You know me and these charts. This chart is telling me that he should be a 5th rounder. So I don't know what's going on here. Like
it's like once the draft is done and then like Patrick Mahomes is no longer involved with the decision making, then they make their good decisions. I mean, like he was fully involved with the CEH pick. He was fully involved with the Sky Moore pick. Like the dude just is not a good talent evaluator. Like they just got to stop listening to Mahomes in the draft. Yo, what up, Dog Pound?
All right. Here we go. When Q Tech Talk. Actually, yeah, here. GA's asking about the dance stuff. A dance and Zamboni advancing now that we got the first round. I will never get over the fact that NBA playoff second round starts before the first round finishes. I will never get over that mentally. It's so strange to me. I know they want to keep like the time slots and that sort of thing, but I always just find it so strange. How did the dance go for you guys? We can look. I only ended up doing, I think, 20 something dance teams. So we can see how many I advanced. What is this? Results.
I'm at 13 out of 64 in the dance right now.
13 out of 64. That's pretty good.
It's like three over average.
I'm at 1 of 20.
1 of 20.
Yeah, we absolutely shit the bed for all dance and the Waltz team rip it. So yeah.
Where did things go wrong? Where did your exposures lie?
I just simply, after that first day and the whole contest got taken down, lost all chance. I just didn't want to put in another 20 to get to 20.
So how did 1 out of 20 take place? You know what I'm saying? Like where did things go wrong there?
Yeah, so I slowly did them, and I did them all, and I had all the Luka. I had all the Luka.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the all of the my 4 late Lakers teams, all Luka.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
so
that'll kill it.
Just didn't do well. I ran as pure as you could with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Including the Waltz team. So it just didn't go well. Didn't go well.
Yeah, I guess anyone who was on Bucks, anyone who was on early Mavs, those were kind of like 2 clean paths out. And then me, I was on Cavs a lot. So I'll have a lot of, 6th place teams, 5th place teams down here. But I only did 19 of them. We got some seconds in here. I got 4 of them through.
Yeah, my one live team is just completely dead too. It's just a mosh posh of nothing. So
this is a nice little Lakers Celtics team. I've got so many Lakers Celtics.
Yeah. Lakers Celtics looking pretty nice right now. I never.
If that was the Celtics Lakers, get past the Sixers. Lakers they got a nice. That seems like a nice ride to the finals if they can just take care of whoever comes out of the Knicks and Heat.
Yeah, they're minus money to win the East right now. Like it
makes sense. Yeah, with Joel-less. Well, we'll get into that, but so far a Joel-less to go into game 1, as one was thinking. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, let's talk about today's slate. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Vegas isn't thinking Embiid's playing right now. They're 10-point dogs. The Sixers are to the Celtics tonight. We've seen some funny business before with the Joel injury reports with Doc, but the word is that Joel did some damage to his knee. And this isn't the our usual Joel Embiid silliness. So I have taken him in the 6th because I forgot all about Paul Reed, and I was like, you know what? Like I don't want anybody else other than like Embiid in the 6th because the options were so gross. When I could have been scooping up all the Paul Reed, but I can't be the sharpest one in the room all the time.
Yeah. So that Joel thing, I'll just say, his injury is more serious than a grade 1 LCL sprain that he literally just suffered less than a week or maybe a little over a week ago.
The The Shams report and what's listed on Underdog is like pretty bad sounding.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look on Twitter and you see him participating in shoot around and shooting. Granted, we saw Randall doing the exact same thing the other day. And then I'll bring up this tweet. I imagine Chip posted it in the Discord earlier.
Yeah, he did.
His injury history and playing through designations, he was doubtful 4 times this year, and he played 3 of them. His Q tags 12 times this season. He played 11 of them, and he was listed out 5 times, and surprisingly played 1 of them.
Isn't this just for playoffs? This is just for right here, right under the tweet. This is just for playoffs, I assume. Correct.
Oh, okay. So this is career playoffs, not. I thought it was for this season.
Yeah, no, I was like, I don't think I was like, we didn't have this many shenanigans this year for Joel. Like, I was trying to like go through my mind. I was like, I don't think he played 4 times or 3 times when he was doubtful this year.
Oh, I wouldn't have put it past him. I thought that lined up and made sense to me.
No, yeah, I just would have remembered the way more chaos happening in the Discord than what normally took place. But yeah, I mean,
okay, so this is the hard-hitting question. Are we drafting him today? How much are you drafting him? Are you kind of fading Reed now, knowing that people are going to have him in the 6th round? Because this is very similar situation to yesterday, and my whole thesis about getting exploitative with Obi Toppin, where he had a 10 projection, and I took 56% of them yesterday in the 6th round, and I was like, I'm going to be the guy ahead of market. And then it, even when it smashed, it didn't matter because everyone still got swaps for him. So people who were drafting Embiid last night, was it Q tag or D tag at that point in time? It was always D tag, right?
I was not drafting last night, so I have no idea.
It was always D.
Yeah, so
he just had like a 56 projection, so he was sitting at the top. You would never auto draft him, but he was up there, and Paul Reed was nowhere to be seen. And people took advantage. So be aware.
Yeah. So so what I'm working toward there is the fact that it will be different than yesterday, where Randall will not just get swapped for Reed, right? Or for Toppin. People will not get Embiid swaps for Reed, but there are a lot of teams that exist that were just like, okay, we're playing it like Joel's out, and now Reed is in the 6th round. But if Reed's the guy you need, he's still the guy you need, right? So when you guys are aping into these drafts, where do you feel comfortable taking Paul Reed? Where do you feel comfortable taking Embiid?
Embiid's 6th only, right? I mean, only in the 6th. And I think depending on how much volume you're doing, like you really need to like set a number, because you can pretty much get him in the 6th, like no matter what. People don't want to take him. But I have, just because like if he gets that midday Q and he actually plays, like that's straight up like what you need. That is that is it's going to be the battle of the Embiid 6s. Paul
and
Reed,
it's double bubble too.
I don't know
it's double bubble, because if you're drafting now versus last night, like maybe Paul Reed went undrafted a couple times like last night or something like that. But if you're drafting now,
undrafted today.
There you go, right? I mean, I wasn't drafting this morning.
Before the updates.
10 before the stream started. But if we talk about like just the Paul Reed factor now, it's double bubble with Embiid, because Reed just goes back to the bench and is useless. Like this isn't like a situation where they can both still hold value or hold ADP. It's like a full contingent play, right? So there's so much leverage with 6th round Embiid. Do you guys think he plays tonight?
Dude, it's 50-50.
Yes or no?
I think it's 50-50.
If you think it's 50-50, I think we should just be taking 100% Joel Embiid. If you think it's genuinely 50-50, you should be taking Joel Embiid
like
at a 100% frequency. Yeah, okay.
I don't think he plays.
Don't think he plays. Vegas doesn't think he plays at this point in time either, as Nez alluded to. I'm team. I think he sits too.
I think they sit him and they see how this game goes without Joel Embiid. And if they somehow do a Milwaukee Bucks type thing where it's like, whoa, this is without Giannis, without Joel Embiid, and they just came out here, maybe not to the working port that game was of a total blowout, but they handle them and stay even competitive. that they're going to try and milk as much as they can to get this man like fully going. Because I mean, yeah, we saw him shooting, but if you saw what he did, the only thing we saw was a ball getting tossed to him and him just spotting up on the elbow and jumping. There was no he wasn't moving,
right.
He wasn't taking any. There was nothing of that.
Yeah.
He partially participated in some practices. I don't know if anyone can confirm if I that's all I saw. If there was contact, non-contact, if that meant dude was also just getting some elbow J's for 30 minutes, like. So, yeah, I don't think he plays. So that means draft all the Joel Embiid in the 6th because that means he is playing. It's just the way of the road.
Like it. Yeah, this is actually, here you go, Roofing Man giving some more context here. Drafted 11 Reed of 20 last night. Reed went in every draft of the buzzer beater. That is the 20 max contest, which is already filled before I even woke up today, which is incredible. Yes. And Embiid went in about 5 of them. So there's a little good. This is good context that Chip's providing too is D'Anthony Melton has a Q tag and he is like the main Q on the slate and kind of the only one who could potentially be ruled out that would result in these Reed swaps for the teams from last night.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I understand that now.
Yeah, because here's Melton's got the Q. To be fair, Melton has had the Q all postseason long.
Yeah,
every single game he has had the Q. Call him LeBron. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, I just meant the perpetual Q thing, but yeah. This
okay,
is easy.
Who do you guys like? This is easy. Kevin Durant. Nez.
I've been mixing in like KD and Tatum.
Okay, interesting. The Kevin Durant narrative is very interesting to me right now. This seems like Booker's team, does it not? In that full first series, it just felt like Booker. No,
when you're hot, you're gonna ride the hot guy. You're not gonna force it. And KD knows that he can just simply give it to a guy that can do anything and everything to the level of KD can, basically, like in terms of perpetual score. So I think KD just took the back seat and let Book cook. Whether it be KD's, it was his team or not. I like Jaylen Brown here. I think he's a tier break. Personally,
yes, I agree with the tier break notion on Jaylen Brown too.
Like he's a guy that, he'll get you his 38, his 44, his around that, but he can also in one of those random games also get you maybe a 50 or a 55 and has we've seen a ceiling of 60. Like in this playoffs, maybe not, but like we've seen it. So that's why
we have seen it.
Break.
But now this is going so early, man. Sorry, I just like.
No, that's what I was going with anyways.
That's what I was going to say is there's angles to be played, and we're up here again. This is interesting. Paul Reed is a 3rd rounder
now. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? And then my mindset is I'm competing against a bunch of 6th round Paul Reed teams. I'm taking Chris Paul here every single time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It makes sense to take Chris Paul.
Like I'm doing the inverse. Basically, my macro strat today is the inverse of what I did yesterday. Yesterday was I'm ahead of market on Obi Toppin. I'm going to bully the shit out of everybody, and that's going to be the guy you need. That's the play you need. I'm going to take that. Today, knowing that I'm late to the party, knowing that Paul Reed last night, knowing whatever, I'm either taking 85% Embiid all in the 6th round and getting exploited that way, or I'm full fading Paul Reed in the middle tiers, knowing that he exists at better price point. And if I lose to 6th round Paul Reed, too bad, so sad. If I light a bunch of money on fire by shooting the moon on the Embiid teams, so be it. Like that's how I think you have to play such a top heavy, only 2-game contest. Yeah.
Would you take Paul Reed over Tobias Harris?
Oh, that's what I was just going to say. Tobias Harris is, what are we doing? Why are all these guys higher than Toby? Like we're just, if we're just going what this dude's been doing in the playoffs, especially with no Joel. Okay. Now we're just Boston. Holy crap.
Yeah. I think I like Smart the best out of this group, but I think taking Derek White first with somebody else on the end that I don't know, although I have seen Tom 3. a couple times in the NBA streets.
But
I think
like
we're going to end
Toby
up with
as my favorite Sixer. Price like in considered. I think Toby, he's shown it. He's literally had a better ceiling than Maxey, even with Embiid out. Like,
yeah. So my plan came to fruition. Was you take the highest. This is the manual drafting versus the auto drafting theory here, where you take Derek White first because I want both on this team. But if I leave Derek White, he doesn't come back. If I leave Marcus Smart in a clump of Boston guys, he has a chance of coming back, being like in the middle of that grouping.
I like all those Boston guys. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
We got noted sharp over here. Rinpack dropping in the chat, asking, so you guys think Embiid is playing? Some TikTok theories think Embiid is playing. I'm on the no, he's not. I think Nez was 50-50, maybe leaning more out. I don't know, but yeah, my gut and everything. I don't think he plays.
I'll have to scroll TikTok and see.
I bet those are very trustworthy, just like that Reddit post.
From like a pure game theory standpoint, I'm taking him like a lot. Like so this team right now, we got 2 Phoenix guys, we got 3 Boston guys. Like this team has maybe a chance at winning if you take like a Kogi with it.
Just type them in so you can get them before it times out.
Yeah. But like I'm taking Embiid every single time here and like being like, yeah, it's $5 and I'm lighting this on fire if he doesn't play, but I'm shooting the moon on this team because like there's nothing unique about this roster construction right now. If we had got like some insane ADP value on that roster where all of a sudden you get Booker plus Harden, which is like really hard to get right now, or you get like some crazy fall in front end ADP because somebody jumps the shark at like pick 4, then I'd probably just go like, okay, we can take a little safer route because this lineup is contrarian enough in its construction that we have a chance to win a 16,000 person entry contest. The fact that like we just do that there and it's like pretty chalky throughout, it's just like, yeah, Kogi's not going to get us to win this contest. Embiid could, right?
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I just feel so bad about taking those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think where would you guys? I think I would take Paul Reed in the 4th if he fell to the 4th. Would you agree with that, or would not even?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. But I think I agree with Neumy2's theory right now that like if I'm looking at Stochastic's projections right now, and like they have them Toby and Reed like 1 point apart. Give me Tobias every single time because I know the leverage doesn't exist of him in the 6th round. Because at no point in time was Tobias Harris a 6th round pick. Yeah. So now I'm not competing against those same lineups.
And now you're even getting him some more suppressed because Reed has jumped him. So you're getting him so
yeah, that's my thought process, whether I'm right or not.
And something that I want to shout out in the Discord is Sharp members. We got Andy in there talking and winning nonstop. April was an unreal month. We got Crutches in there. We got all the boys in there nonstop bringing out. And I mean, they were just simply talking about also being able to see and look at projections, but then having the IKB of looking at the playoffs and being able to see just how things are going and adjust to that. Because sure, we can have these projections of what the year sample has been and be like, yeah, in a 1 game. But now that they're playing in a series of 7, like coaching chess matches are happening. People are going in and out of the starting lineup. Like minutes are being changed. Guys are hot. Being able to adjust to that, like last series, it was like game 4, and I'm like, I'm going all in on Kevin Durant, and Crutches is like, I mean, we've seen Devin Booker be the guy. It's Devin Booker, and it's Devin Booker, and he basically faded Kevin Durant and took all the Devin Booker, and he's just like, it's just simply their ceilings are close enough, and the way this series has been going, and we've seen from it, I'm taking that, like taking those little adjustments and being able to rework your process is something very, I think, important. So, and just what we've seen in the playoffs. So,
yeah, I like that shout for sure.
Kind of blending
let's talk this through. Do you guys like CP3, Ayton? We got the Paul decision. We got Maxey decision here. We could flip the board and bring Tobias over here. I like Aaron Gordon quite a bit tonight. I am not going to lie. That's who I would click on. Who do you guys like?
I like CP3.
Yeah, I think CP3 for sure. if you like Gordon, for me, it's like I think it's tough here. I think projections are probably going to tell you Paul Reed and Maxey and Ayton.
Projections will probably tell you Maxey, then Ayton, then Paul Reed, then Aaron Gordon, then Tobias. I think.
What's your Gordon love tonight? Tell me on that. And click him.
Tyrese Maxey just does not really go
here. Who do you guys like?
Maxey.
Go here as in okay.
He usually goes before this, which is like insane.
Okay. Tell me on Maxey.
Maxey balls. Maxey balls out. And the thing is like
Neumy, what's his usage rate? Can you look it up?
Yeah, I was just gonna go with that without Embiid, right? With
let's do without Embiid plus Harden plus let's see the usage rates for the kind of big three there, because I think it's a good talking point.
Gotcha. Oh wow, this is it's changed.
I feel like the Celtics are just gonna like 10. I'm not touching this game, but I would take Sixers plus 10. Like the Celtics just do not know how to capitalize on good situations. You know, they always seem to underperform when the field sees them as heavy favorites. I don't know. I'm good on giving the Sixers 10 tonight.
All right.
And I like Horford.
Like Horford?
Kind of like Horford.
Just imagining that there's no Embiid. This is not going to be an Embiid team because we took Maxey. Is that that's the thought process?
Let's assume somebody's going to take him before us. But I mean, Horford's getting a lot of minutes and he's getting good usage. So I just think Horford's a pretty safe bet.
We just want to talk like a little bit of basketball with some of these stretch fives who push out to the perimeter. We've been seeing it like all series. Like they just didn't defend Sabonis at all in that series anytime he was out. I like Smart better than Brogdon.
So do I. I think with the stocks, you know, he hasn't really gotten there. So but we know that he can. So that I think he's a really good value right now.
Okay. The thing with like Horford, right, is like being those like stretch fives that can go out to the perimeter. Like, how does Paul Reed defend that? You know, if we get no Embiid tonight, like Embiid's a guy who can defend that, right? Like he can come out that far, right? Like with a more traditional, like granted, like, you know, in the community, people love B-ball Paul, right? But like, I don't envision like, you know, some press up defending on a guy like Horford when he wants to shoot the three tonight. I think the three is going to be available for him to shoot. That's just my kind of like bro science.
Yeah, I'm not scared of him defensively. I'm scared of him in this contest and not having any of him. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah. Who is kind of our favorite dart throw here? I think the nicest thing we can say about PJ Tucker is he's probably going to start and he's probably going to play a lot of minutes. Yeah. There's that. Okogie, you could probably say, you know, similar. I think
it sucks.
Yeah, this six pick is awful. Who do you guys like?
Okogie or Tucker, I think.
Okay, let's take Tucker.
Yeah.
I've been taking Okogie so far. Tucker gets a couple stocks early. I mean, in the 6th round tonight, this is why like the leverage of Reed is so huge to this slate, because it's the make or break decision of the 6th round. Because like every person in the 6th round, I look at that list in terms of ADP in the 6th round to pair with Joker tonight. If you don't get a crazy ADP fall, and I mean like crazy ADP fall is like KCP falling, and you got to just pick between like Craig Okogie, Biyombo, Green, Tucker, Payne. I mean, maybe Payne sees a couple more minutes tonight after the injury. Christian Brown, like Jalen McDaniels. I have no idea. Like you're looking for 15 to 20 fantasy points. Like it's a pure floor game, and that can't even hang with Paul Reed getting 26 minutes. Which is like the not low outcome for like Paul Reed, other than Embiid starting. That's why like the decision of this entire slate is just Embiid.
Yeah, that's why I was going with Embiid, because when it's like Okogie or Tucker, it's like, well, I'm probably not winning with this as my 6th round pick. So it's Embiid. It is. Give me the 0 over, like, you know, maybe I can still min cash with the 0. Who knows?
Yeah, and just for the record here, Joe saying you could still swap off. The problem with this is you cannot. The D tag is definitive. It's you're lighting $5 on fire. You're taking a 0 in that 6th round, or you're shooting the moon to win. Like that's why this would if you could swap off the D tag, Embiid would still be going in the 1st round on this on this 2-gamer.
Yeah, got to read those dialogue boxes when they pop up. You can't. They'll tell you, hey, you're lighting your money on fire. You don't get a swap if he doesn't play. They tell you, so make sure you read those.
Neumy, the usage. You got some usage numbers for me.
Yeah, so the highest, basically FanDuel scoring, same as Underdog scoring. The guy that gains the most, basically points per game, I will say this, is Toby Harris.
Okay.
Followed then by Tyrese Maxey and James Harden, who are the same. For the usage rates, we are looking at James Harden at a 31.26.
Yep.
Tyrese Maxey is next at a 29% usage. My apologies, 29.1. And these, we have a lot of minutes. We have over like 750 minutes. So it's large sample without Embiid.
Yep.
And then it goes down all the way down to 31, 29. Toby is 23. DeAnthony Melton is 21. Those are what we're sitting at.
What's Paul Reed?
Paul Reed, 16% usage rate.
Okay.
But he definitely gets a bump in like points per game, and he's a fantasy point per minute monster. So, like, you know what I mean? Like
for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, this is very unlike Toby, who definitely takes it. It definitely hurts him. It definitely hurts James and Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
If Embiid plays, Paul Reed goes. I mean, all Paul Reed teams are dead unless it's a Embiid plays for 8 minutes, whatever, re-injures it, Paul Reed comes back in type thing. But yeah, the contingency of Paul Reed is just done. Versus you at least have a little hope with these guys. And like, I like it's because once you get past that tier, what we saw, it's like you have 5 or 6 Boston guys to choose from. So I try and get the last tier of whatever player, because you know you're going to have a pick of your litter of any Boston guy that comes back. So yeah.
Okay, let's go Galbrain on it here. The game plays to the spread, right? Okay. It's game 1 of this series. Embiid sits, like B-ball Paul just, puts up 36, right? Like a very reasonable mean outcome game, but they're down 12 with, 7 minutes left. And they just go, all right, we're on the road. This is game 1. We kind of throw in the white flag here. Who is then the Celtics bench piece in the 6th round, or the Sixers bench piece in the 6th round that we could get to? Is it Shake now?
I think it'll have to get down to like 3 minutes to put in a guy. 12 minutes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's say they're up 20. They're up 20 then. It's the bench comes in. The bench comes in is the narrative. Don't get hung up on the
Montrezl Harrell probably comes in for whatever minutes he wants to soak up.
Fat.
Yeah,
when he was playing last game, he looks so out of shape. Yeah, the Embiid game that we had without him, when we had the Paul Reed start, he looks big. Okay.
You'll get gorgeous. You'll get Niang. You'll get those boys. Yeah, you'll get them all to come out. So I mean, I don't know what that's gonna do. It has to be real big garbage time. But how does it affect Paul Reed? I think Reed would stay out there, like in the garbage time, is my thought. Unless they're just like, or like 20 points, just sub out all guys, put in Harrell. You know what I mean? Put in Harrell and all those boys. Like, it's gonna be Harrell, Niang, Melton. Just trying to think of all the boys. Daniel House comes in.
I'm thinking about yesterday's slate, right? And it's not 1 for 1. It's not whatever. Kyle Lowry was the guy you needed. All the projection models didn't tell you shit about Kyle Lowry. Everyone told you to play the shit out of Gabe Vincent, right? Which was kind of right. I mean, Gabe Vincent played like really well, and he's been a really hot shooter recently. And the narrative made sense, right? But then all of a sudden we get this resurgent, and we get a closing lineup that instead of Kevin Love on the floor, you get 8 added minutes of Kyle Lowry, right? Which means Obi Toppin doesn't come back in the game. IQ goes and closes for the Knicks. I'm thinking through a thesis of this where it's like, we're all like, Paul Reed, point per minute. Yeah. He's a clear what if Paul Reed is what Obi Toppin was yesterday, where like he gets his 30 whatever, but he doesn't break the slate. He's a guy you might need, but who's the 6th round guy that if they don't close with Paul Reed in there, like I don't think they're going to close with Harrell, but could they play small and then like Celtics just keep this group, right? Time Lord stays on the bench and they keep this kind of like small with stretch 5 in Horford on the floor, and Paul Reed isn't in this closing lineup. Who's in this lineup? Is it Melton? Is it 6th round Melton that we want to get over the field right now?
I like Melton.
I mean, he's probably in the lineup. It's probably going small. He's probably going with PJ Tucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's probably staying.
Yeah,
out
I think Tucker closes for sure. If it's close.
The thing is with Melton is he's gonna have to just do what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to also have to have a stock game. He's going to need that 5 stock game, and you're going to need Melton to continue to do what he's done. Like I don't think it's unreasonable to say they go small. Melton comes in for Reed, however lineup they want to do that. And yeah, I mean we've seen the minutes he's been getting, and then most likely if it's like out of play, he'll be the one to stay in there. Coming off the bench, he says, just keep Melton in there. You know what I mean? Unless this injury thing is something that's serious, doubtful. But yeah, Melton's play for me is the stocks. There's going to have to be some extraordinary circumstances where DeAnthony Melton is the one taking over this game in ways in which he's scoring. And it's like, and he put up a couple stocks, but he put up the 30. Like if DeAnthony Melton's putting up 40 points, he needs stocks. That's all I'll say.
Sure. Yeah. But that's kind of true of anyone. The thing is, like, we're trying to win a 16,000 entry contest here where we know people are max entering who already have like 80% 6th round Paul Reed. Where's the leverage, right? It's only a 2-game slate. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking through like paths of leverage and being like, well, maybe they close with Jalen McDaniels because he's their best defender. Right? Like maybe him and PJ Stock are like PJ Tucker are like their two, maybe that's accurate. Maybe PJ Stock's tonight. But like, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking through like, where is that 6th round leverage of
I don't
like
think it's
a
there.
Different closing? I don't think
it's there. I'll tell you, I don't think your answer there. And I think for my answer, it's to play an angle in which you fade Reed and you get different Sixers, or you just play a different angle in which that game gets fully blown out. And I think that's the way a lot of teams are being built with, hey, look, Celtic. You already have a Celtic. Well, most teams right now either have 2 or 3 Celtics on there. So a lot of the way that this lineups are being built it's just Celtic. So, for me, I'd play the angle of fading Reed and getting Tobias and maybe I think James Harden's interesting. How do you want to play that? Like if Joel Embiid officially gets ruled out, does James Harden stay at that 105? Or do you think some casuals or people start pushing him up ahead of Tatum? I don't think he should. I think he should stay to 5, but I wonder just how that changes the draft landscape if Joel gets officially ruled out.
I think I will.
You'll push Harden
not
over
from a projection standpoint,
leverage.
just from a leverage, just to flip the board. I mean, if we look at the rankings right now, and I just go like Joker's like a clear 101, I think he projects like 5-6 points better on like everybody's model. Stochastic has him 10 points ahead. Actually, I'm looking at DraftKings scoring, right? No, FanDuel scoring updated an hour ago. They have him 11 points ahead of Jason Tatum as their 2nd ranked player right now.
You talking Jokic?
What?
We talk
Jokic.
Yeah. So 101 ahead. Okay. Yeah. Which is
so like,
yeah.
If we just go like you're making up that 11 points in projection with the 6th round pick. You get what I'm saying? So like the 6th round pick looks like tragic once it comes back to you there, right? So you're making that up at the top. If then Embiid gets ruled out and he's no longer a viable, like I can shoot the moon for ceiling in the 6th round there in tandem with Jokic, like to break the slate is effectively what I'm thinking. Well, then all of a sudden, let's push up James Harden to the 102 and get combinations of Harden that nobody else has, because everybody who's drafting in line with projections on the site, aka what ADP is right now, is going to have Durant plus Jamal, Durant plus Jamal, Durant plus Chris Paul. Like, just flip the board and get the other combos.
So smart, Chad. very smart guy in here in these hoop streets has come to tell me that he thinks the most optimal thing to do is to fade the 101 on 2-game slates. Just consensusly fade it, because you're just gonna get the leverage you get to that. And he's been the 2 times he didn't employ it, it worked, and he didn't do it because I kind of talked him out of it. And he looks at me and he messaged me back like, "Look, it would have worked." So I'm gonna ask Chad and ask him to post in there. Is that what you're doing today? Are you out? If I'm gonna join your drafts, am I getting Jokic at 102? Like, should I be timing this up? Because
because I think Jokic at 102 represents way more leverage than fading Jokic at 101.
And that's where I wanted to get your take on that, because I like just having your thought and then having the like, and he obviously, Chad brings the math and like he tells me about it and I'm going to be dumb and I'm not going to butcher it on stream, but like, you know what I mean? He comes with the math of like, well, this is what you're doing. You fade him and this is how much you gain if he's not because he's like, if he doesn't put up the score you need and any one of these, any one of KD, Booker, Tatum, Harden put up that score, you're just, you're leaps and bounds looking so much better. Just depends if you can nail that guy. He did the same thing, and with like Sabonis and someone else, he didn't have Fox in that group. He was pushing up. Fox was the score that you needed. So
right.
I don't know that anybody behind him though tonight like has that potential to like.
But that's what he says is the more optimal thing, even when there's no one there.
The leverage makes sense. Like, right, like, that actually makes a lot of sense. But Jokic at home versus like with the matchup,
I agree.
Tough pill to swallow for me.
That's exactly what my response is to him. And then he's just like, but it's still the most optimal thing to do. I'm like, oh, right. Well, then what am I missing?
I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it too. Like I did it last night, right? Like I showed everybody my exposures from last night. I did it with Steph last night. I faded Jimmy buckets. I took Steph 101 all night.
Yeah.
I ended up with 39% Steph. I just said it's Steph. It's game 7. It's a pace up spot. It's gonna be a way higher total. It's just I'm betting on Steph, and it didn't really fucking matter. I don't know. It's weird. Even when I made the unique combos of it, it still didn't fucking matter because I didn't have
the
Kyle
guy
Lowry.
you need. Oh,
Kyle Lowry, right?
That's hilarious.
Like I had Harrison Barnes ranked above Kyle Lowry, and I auto drafted, I guess 95 of the 122 that I did, and I had no Kyle Lowry, basically. I think I got 2 shares on the entire slate, hand draft once. Even getting Gabe Vincent right, even getting Obi Toppin right. I don't know. It's weird. These 2 gamers are such mind fuck, right? And now that's what made this was such a good slate to talk about today, because it was just such a mind fuck. And then you throw in the Embiid wrinkle, and it just goes crazy.
Before we go, John, we have the Waltz pods. I don't know if you want to take a look at our Club Top Shot team and see who we're up against.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do it. Can you pull up your screen? And,
Yeah. So this team won off the performance of Sabonis. Well, no thanks to Sabonis.
No
honestly.
way. Am I in your pod?
No. Well, you might be in my other one, and not in the one that John and I.
Because this is Sabonis in this one, so.
Oh, I have Sabonis on like every goddamn team.
You have 2 teams?
I took so much. This is one with John. So here's the team. It's a very common Warriors with Celtics. So we're counting on Draymond big time here.
We're dead at the 5 with the bigs.
This would have been so like, I know I don't want to go hindsight 2020, but anything else would have been just like.
Yeah, that's my fault, because that team we were trying to go a little gal brain, because we were like, the Waltz was different setup, right? It was like 2 get through, 2 get. It was like, hey, let's take the floor of a guy that we think's gonna get through, right?
Yeah, we were just bullying round 1 at that point because there were some good teams in round 1, so we really wanted to get through. So line of scrimmage, first opponent here, can't field a full team. Yeah, good player, but only has Boston left, so. Feel really good about that. John Boy, obviously, like tremendous player. He has AD with Jimmy Buckets, so we cancel out the Jimmy Buckets leverage there. AD versus Draymond, and then Campaign putting up points for him this weekend. Chris Paul, so I feel good about that. Here's Karst. Never seen him, but no bigs, full wings, and Booker, Harden. That's going to be a good team. But it's
Man, Butler was the piece you needed, eh? Like Butler was the push through. Yeah.
Big time. And it's 2 out of 6 here too.
I'm feeling good about this team.
You're telling me I have a chance?
Yeah, I feel really good about this. Let's not speak too soon. This is a really good team.
Yeah, because you can play those bigs at the flex, so they end up with he's going to be scoring points at the bigs and at the flex every single night from those 3 bigs, especially if Kevon, especially if Looney keeps doing what he was doing, man. Like rebounding champ Sabonis, what a fucking fraud. So soft, man.
Crazy. Got his lunch money taken every game. So that was a really big matchup. So like we'll see how that carries over. This is definitely that definitely bites. But luckily we have some pretty solid wings, so we could be advancing hand in hand. This is a good team.
That is a good team for sure. Yeah.
Shoot. All right. So this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Okay. So that they got Bam on there. So only person with Bam. Almost everybody has buckets. He's got the Bam and he's got us covered with the Jaylen Brown and the Butler there.
Yeah.
And
2
Steph.
bigs.
Oh man, this guy's got us duped and pinned a little bit.
Yeah. And just to recap, we have Steph, and so we need a pool party.
Dude, our leverage right now is Draymond because nobody else has Draymond and Poole. We are Warriors in 7 with Poole and Draymond rotation pieces.
Pool party.
Pool party, baby.
That's an iconic duo that you need together. You need them both to work together.
Yes. And they will.
You guys are going to show up to the stream. Like, it's going to be a Warriors stream. Both of you are going to show up, and it's always going to hear doop in my headphones, both and just like a tank and tees, sunglasses. You're like, you know what day it is, right? You know what time it is, huh?
Yeah. Water wings on.
Where's your floaties? Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Drew knows that this has gone on too long. That's a fun sweat we got there. That'll be great.
Nothing left for the dance.
Hey, I'm live.
Yet,
I'm live in my Walt's team. I just went through it. I'm the only one with AD. So
there you go. There's your leverage. AD's your leverage.
We're good, baby.
All right. Good luck to everybody playing tonight in the hoop streets. It's a crazy one. Get in that heat check because this might not be a thing. You know, the Embiid decision still looms, but like the Paul Reed leverage doesn't necessarily exist to the same extent because the contest dropped after. So if you're a little nervous and apprehensive about that, get in the heat check drafts. I'll be in there for the next little bit. Do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that follow on your way out the door. We had like 50 some odd of us hanging out, drafting alongside 60 of us hanging out, drafting alongside our very first BBM, which I butchered with a Deshaun Watson pick.
It's
January fingers a little slow here. Yeah. Anything to add, gentlemen?
See you in the streets, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
In the streets.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Where's the button? We'll be back on the Underdog Fantasy channel tomorrow. Underdog Fantasy HQ. We'll be talking baseball and we will be talking dailies. And then we'll be back here on Wednesday. So, yeah, good times ahead. All right. On behalf of Neumy, Nez, myself, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.